what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Honestly, this is probably the most vlogging I've ever done in my life, and it has been a lot of work, but I am absolutely loving making these videos. Anyway, in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about microphones. Now, I know I went over these a little bit in my previous video, but today's video is a little bit special because I got two new microphones that I'm going to try out today, as well as sharing with you what I think might be the best microphone for content creators in 2025. This right here is my new dynamic microphone. It's the K688CT by Fifine. Now, I will note that Fifine did send this mic out to me. That's something I'll always be open about on this channel, whether or not a product was given to me or if I bought it. However, I am not being paid to review this, so I'm giving my honest opinion. Honestly, so far I love it. I've really been wanting a microphone like this for a really long time. These little guys work great for doing videos basically anywhere. However, I do feel like if you're in a studio or you're in a home setup and you can use one of these mics, I think the sound is just a little bit better. It kind of has more of like a deeper, warmer tone to it. But yeah, some of the things that I like about this microphone is that it comes with the stand. It connects through USB-C, so all I have to do is just plug into my computer and I'm ready to go. I didn't need to buy like a big XLR cable. Also, the microphone and the stand is fully made out of metal. Honestly, I thought it was going to have some plastic components to it, but it is actually completely made out of metal, so it does have a nice feel to it. However, the metal does feel like kind of lightweight. But honestly, since using this microphone, I think the audio sounds great. I mean, you're literally listening to it right now, so be the judge of that for yourself. For only 80 bucks, I think it's a really great deal. Honestly, if I was in the market for one of these microphones, I think starting out, I probably would have gone with something like this. Really, my only cons with this thing is this mute button right here. I don't know if you can really see, but there is like a mute button right here, and it's not actually really a button. You just kind of tap it to mute, which I don't really like because whenever I'm adjusting the microphone or I accidentally touch it with my hands, you can easily tap the mute button without realizing it and then just mute yourself, which would honestly suck while you're recording if you record a whole entire video on mute and you didn't even realize it. Or if I'm using it during video calls and whatnot, sometimes I'll accidentally mute myself. Also, this one isn't a super big deal, and it might be pretty common with dynamic microphones. I don't really know because this is my first one, but this thing does make a lot of noise when you touch it, especially if you're messing with the buttons down here, or you're adjusting it. The microphone does really pick up on that, and so you just kind of have to be careful not to bump into it. Or if I'm sort of talking and I want to adjust the microphone at the same time, I feel like it would kind of get in the way of my talking. But yeah, overall, for my very first dynamic microphone and for only $80, I think is a great deal. So shout out to Fifine for sending this out to me, and I will link this down in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Alright, so what you just heard there was audio recorded with this. This is the DJI Mic Mini. Now, if you see my other videos, you know that I currently have been using the DJI Mic 2 that came with my Osmo Pocket 3 creator combo. No real complaints with this mic whatsoever. However, the problem with getting this microphone in the creator combo is that since the transmitter is built into the Pocket 3, it syncs up super seamlessly with the Pocket 3. But when I want to use it with my Sony camera, I don't have the transmitter, so I've been using the built-in storage feature and record button and then just syncing up my camera audio and the microphone audio in post. Which for Instagram videos and stuff, it wasn't that bad because they're 30-second reels, but ever since I started doing more YouTube videos, but you can just imagine that having to sync up all that audio adds about another 30 to 45 minutes of editing time. So I wanted to get the receiver for this DJI Mic 2, but while I was researching it online, the receiver was kind of hard to find sold just by itself and especially used, and I want to say they were going for about $120, which I ended up finding this DJI Mic Mini kit online at Target for $60, which comes with this whole little kit that has one microphone, a couple of dead cats, the receiver plus audio cable, as well as different charging cables. So I kind of just figured, I mean, for $60, I would rather just go with this microphone. On top of that, another one of the reasons why I ended up going with the Mic Mini over just getting a receiver for the Mic 2 is that I really love how small and lightweight this is. It definitely helps a lot when filming B-roll and you want to sort of hide the microphone. You can conveniently hide this in your shot to capture some up-close audio, as well as I think one of the biggest things is that when people use these for content creation, they tend to clip them on their shirt, and the DJI Mic 2, I find it just be a little too heavy and bulky. It sort of just makes my shirt sag down a good bit, whereas with the DJI Mic Mini, it's so small and lightweight that it doesn't tug on your shirt at all, and you honestly don't feel it. And honestly, just from listening to different audio tests online and trying it out myself, I think the Mic Mini sounds just as good as my Mic 2. So this is currently me using the audio off off the DJI Mic Mini. As you can see, I have it clipped on the middle of my shirt here, which is a pretty typical spot for creators to have their microphone, especially when you want to be a bit more hands-free. And now I'm switching over to the DJI Mic 2. As you can see, it does kind of tug on my shirt a little bit, especially from the side. It kind of like leans forward. And the biggest thing for me is that I can really feel it too when I'm like talking and moving around. You can kind of feel it like shaking and whatnot. Now this is kind of a thicker shirt, so when I do wear a thinner shirt, it does tend to pull on it more. But yeah, with the Mic Mini, it's like you just don't even feel it. You don't even know it's there. But here I'll give you some handheld up close audio with the DJI Mic 2. And then now you're listening to the audio handheld up close with the DJI Mic Mini. Okay, I'm editing this video right now and I'm realizing that I had the microphone like way too close to my face. So another thing I forgot to mention about the DJI Mic 2 versus the Mic Mini is that the DJI Mic 2 actually has like better audio control, and that was something I didn't really think about at the time of filming this video. So the next couple of clips, I'm gonna have the microphone like too close to my face and the audio might get a little loud and it might clip, but I just want you to know that that is user error. With the DJI Mic Mini, they do have settings on the DJI Mimo app that you can adjust, as well as messing with the gain knob on the receiver. That's on me for not really testing out before filming this video, so just keep that in mind as you watch. And when you look at the new DJI Mic 3, I think there's honestly a reason why they made it more like the DJI Mic Mini and put it in that smaller design. However, the new DJI Mic 2 I think is like north of $300. Like I said, I got this online at Target for 60 bucks. And I do know that I saw on Amazon you can get the full kit with 2 microphones and the charging case for like 100 bucks. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I think in 2025, if you are new to content creation and you are looking for a great microphone, I would honestly say go with this one. $60 for this microphone is such a great deal, and it is literally all you need to get started with content creation. I started out on these Rode microphones for 80 bucks used on eBay. Now, this is an older model Rode microphone, and if we're comparing size and weight, well, this one is definitely a lot bulkier. When it came to tugging on my shirt, this one was always kind of a problem. Also with these, they really don't hold charge very well. I don't know if it's just because I bought them used and maybe they're really old, but I found that every time I wanted to record, I had to charge these. Versus this DJI Mic 2, I almost never have to charge. And I believe the DJI Mic Minis have really great battery life as well. Now, in terms of cons for the DJI Mic Mini, if you are really serious about your audio recording, the DJI Mic Mini doesn't have what's called 32-bit float recording. But essentially, I think it allows you to adjust the highs and lows of your audio in post without introducing a bunch of noise. Personally, I've never really done that, and if you're a beginner content creator, you probably don't really even need to be worrying about that right now either. But if that is something that you look for, just take note, this does not have that. Also, having no built-in storage and recording feature isn't a huge deal breaker, but I think for doing voiceovers, I really like that on my Mic 2. That way I don't have to sort of like connect it to a camera and record a whole video just to like delete all the video. But it's honestly not that big of a deal. And for me, whenever I need to do that, I will just use the DJI Mic 2. Now, of course, when it comes to content creation, there are a lot of different microphone options out there. And I'm just gonna say, overall, I think these kinds of microphones are going to be the most versatile and probably the best option for most people getting into content creation. You can film with them literally anywhere. They sound great, they're super easy to use, and they're great for capturing A-roll and B-roll audio. However, if you know you're gonna be filming in a studio setup or at home a bunch, and you don't really feel like you need to take your microphone anywhere, I do think the dynamic microphone is going to be better for that. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think they just have a more warmer tone to them and they sort of capture more in the low range, which I think sounds really nice in the videos. However, of course, the biggest disadvantage with this is that you can't really take it outside and use it. And then as far as shotgun mics go, that's really going to be like your vlogging microphone and your run and gun microphone. I do feel like it's a good microphone to have, but I probably wouldn't go for it as my first choice. However, if you do plan on doing a lot of run and gun filming and you just want to be hands-free all the time, shotgun mics are a great option. But yeah, that was today's topic. Super excited to have these microphones in my collection. I love this super mini microphone. I do really think it's going to make filming B-roll a lot more fun. Just getting creative with where I can hide this thing to capture cool audio, as well as not having to sync up all that audio in post. And for filming videos like I'm doing right now, where I'm just at home sitting down at my desk, I'm definitely going to be using this dynamic microphone setup a lot. And yeah, once again, shout out to Fifine for sending this out to me. In case you're looking for links to all all these different microphones I talked about, I will have them linked down in the description below, as well as in every video I do just add the links to pretty much like all the filming gear that I use. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty open about it because I've kind of talked about my setup in almost every video now, but no gatekeeping here. And they are affiliate links, by the way, so purchasing through those links does help support the channel. But anyways, thank you for watching. I know today's video was a bit short, but I do have a lot of good videos coming soon, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned.